Yeah, sound. Guys, welcome back. Ben Nicholson UK. James, I'm here today with Jamie Christopher. Jamie, how are you doing, mate?
Fine, James. You, pal?
Yeah, really good. Just sort of trying to get the last bit of our great British summer, but it's not happening too much, is it?
Oh, it's been all right today, hasn't it?
Yeah, enjoy it while we can, mate. Enjoy it while we can. It'll be, I always call it whole fair weather before you know it. So
Yeah.
we'll get it in, mate, while we can. So, Jamie, pleasure to have you with us, mate, today. So to sort of take it back then, Jamie, to where everything began for you, where was life growing up, and yourself through sort of childhood, going into teens, and how school was, and stuff like that, mate. Any family life?
Yeah, sound, pal. Sound. I'm a twin, me, like, so it's like I'm a bit of a tearaway, growing up, do you know what I mean? Two little shitbags, two little shitters, you know what I mean? So but life growing up has been sound, really. It's like you just get into, obviously every village has their own backgrounds, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Rough goings up and all that. So it's just like been sound, mate. I don't know what to say.
Where's home for you? Where's home for you, Jamie?
I'm in Doncaster, me.
Doncaster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Doncaster area, yeah.
There's a lot of fighters, I think, bare knuckle fighters, sort of Doncaster up, Sheffield, East Coast.
No, Rotherham and that, innit? They've got that Olympus at Rotherham. They've got bare knuckle walls, and that's in Scarborough, based in Scarborough. I know a few now, and then you've got a few more, but it just keeps me taking these fights on. It keeps me occupied. You know what I mean? And then it gives me something to train for, and that, and obviously, and everything that I'm fighting for is my niche. You know what I mean? Justice, who passed away. So for getting that CMV, getting that awareness out there, for pregnant women. Obviously, because like I've just been saying to you before, that it's just all for her. Do you know what I mean? I don't fight for myself. You know what I mean? It's keeping me on straight and narrow, but it's more for her. Because obviously I've got a lot of deep regret, really, because obviously I wasn't there for her. Do you know what I mean? When she was dying, so it's a bit of a sore point for me.
So before we get into it, Jamie, with Justice, with your niece that you lost. So before we get into that, because obviously that's a massive part of your story as well, and probably in a way as well, with your life changing and keeping you on the path that you want to be on as well. So childhood was good. Do you have any brothers and sisters?
I've got
obviously you said you're a twin.
Yeah, I've got three sisters as well. Three girls, sisters, obviously. Well, obviously, but yeah, one a brother and two and three sisters. They've all got their own kids as well. Yeah, honestly, my childhood's been sound. Do you know what I mean? Always got into scraps and got into trouble with police, like we all have, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? It's like happens everywhere, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? I never say it perfect. Do you know what I mean?
So when you were going into like your secondary years in school and that, so obviously that's usually quite a telling time for a lot of lads, isn't it? To be fair, hitting secondary.
Truthful, mate. I didn't learn no at school. Just messed about. But now I'm 32 now. I was saying to my next door neighbour the other week, I went, do you know what? I wish I could go back to college and realise what I know. Do you know now? Because obviously when you're a kid, you're like, can't be asked. But now you're thinking, oh shit. I was just on about it over days, in fact. But yeah, it's like messed about in school. Probably too much. I never learned. No, do you know what I mean? I've always been able to have a good scrap, win or lose. Mostly on street, do you know what I mean? Mostly on nights out. So this is the first time I've ever got into it with promotions and all that. And I haven't got into it now just for the sake of getting into it. There's one big reason why I'm doing it. Do you know what I mean? And that's just for my niece, and that's what I've got for myself. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just going to make sure I carry on, just try and push forward with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So you've gone then to sort of usual teenage lads, you know, getting into your scraps, having your battles, and sort of picking your fights. So did you finish school, Jamie? Do you leave school sort of 15, 16?
But I finished school when I was 15, mate. Do you know what happened? I think they were that fed up of us teachers, yeah. Um, they excluded me. They excluded me for a week, and I never went back, and they never said no. So that's how much they want to like. Because it was halfway through year 11, I got excluded. I can't remember what it was for, but I just never went back, and they just never said no about it. So I think they were just thinking, you know what I mean? Didn't bother. Do you know what I mean? But that's how much we messed about. So you got to understand there's like two twins in messing about and they're both hyperactive. Do you know what I mean? And then I think teachers hated us like.
What sort of thoughts did you have in your head then, mate, as a teenager? Sort of, did you know what path you wanted to go down?
Do you know what I mean? Because I come from a pit village, mate. So it's like everybody's just same minded. You know what I mean? I mean, you are what you've been brought up in, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? I mean, no special. So it's like I never thought about it. We just fucking messed about, and like I'll honestly say, I've never done no good with my life. Do you know what I mean? I've had my kids, and that's it. And I've always been. I've done. Even though I would try and do a lot for good people, but I've just never been able to look after myself. Do you know what I mean? So and then obviously I went through that bad stage. It's like, do you know, I'm getting it wrong, like getting in with wrong crowd. Do you know what I mean? And then 6 years in my life went. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's one of them. I mean, now if I had the mind frame I had now back then, I'd be able to like change. But you can't change back. You can't go back to some time, can you? You know what I mean? So
You can't,
I just
mate. But
I just learned from past. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna try and make my future better. That's all I can do. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, and I think that's the most important thing. You
Yeah.
can't, sadly, you can't turn back time, can you? But what
Yeah.
you can do is you can flip it and think, well, actually, I can't turn back time, but I'm going to make my time now the bet, you
That's
know,
what. And
the
people that
best you
know me,
can.
James, like people that know me around Doncaster and all that, they'll know how bad I used to be, and being on drugs and all that all the time. I mean, because before that, I was same as what I am now. At gym all the time, do you know what I mean? And I met this bloke and all that, and then it just took me down wrong paths, do you know what I mean? And by the time when I realised it, 4 years went by, I'm like, whoa, do you know what I mean? Fucking, and I'm like, that's it, do you know what I mean? I showed you pictures, didn't I? Do you know what I mean? And then nearly
Yeah,
lost
well, good. Well,
family
well,
of it, do you know what I mean? Nearly lost me. If I'd have kept on down that, like how bad I was, do you know what I mean? I'd have nobody, do you know what I mean? But I've had a good family behind me, do you know what I mean?
we'll
Always,
share. We'll share the photos, Jamie, as well, so we'll be able to show. I know. To be honest, I looked and the sort of then and now just looks like two completely different
yeah, I
people.
didn't.
You
Um,
wouldn't know it was the same person. I'm sure a lot of the viewers will see that as well.
yeah.
All right, mate. So let's take it back then. So you said there, before you sort of went down and got into drugs and stuff, you got into the gym. So when did that sort of start? Was that as a lad? Did you go to
Well,
the boxing gym or?
I've been training for the last 15 years, me. See, I'm 32 now. I think I started when I was about 17. And I used to start at the old Empire. So it's well known around here, but it's not there anymore. Like, and then from like 2012 to like 2016. And then it was 2016-ish when I started slipping, like, because there were a bloke off at road that used to live at my mum's live at road, like you on my mum's street. You've got like houses, but over other side it's like bungalow, and he was an old bloke. Do you know what I mean? And I got friendly with him, and he was 60-odd-year-old, but it was like he had a mind of like like a teenager. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
and if I knew now, then what I knew then, do you know what I mean? I would have avoided it all, but you live and learn. You learn from your mistakes, don't you? You know what I mean? But like before that, I used to go to gym all the time. just working. Do you know what I mean? I would never do drugs every day. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously, but then my granddad died, and then obviously I ended up going over there all the time. I just used to see every time I would go walking by, I'd always see my son going into his bungalow. Do you know what I mean? It's like start from then one day turned into 2 days, and 2 days turned into a week turned into a month turned into a year. It just went down like that. Do you know what I mean? It just spiraled up completely out of control. Do you know what I mean?
How long were you training then, mate, before you took that path? How long were you?
I was training for a good 4 years before I started down that wrong path. I started training like 2012, and I think I was just turning in about 22, I think, and I started training like. Obviously, and then 20, I think it was like 25, I started slipping. So in between like 20 and 22, do you know what I mean? And then obviously for 4 years, and then 2016, I started slipping. And then 2019 is when I showed you them photos.
Yeah,
and then
so one of the things, Jamie, I know, like obviously, addiction's going to be massive with a lot of people. You know, with addiction is one of people's biggest demons, isn't it?
A lot of people can't. Sorry, mate. A lot of people can't come out of it, can they? Do you know what I mean? A lot of people don't get out of it, do they?
No, sadly. And I mean, sadly, what happened with you, which we will get to, is something really tragic that a lot of people who are battling addiction won't necessarily have to deal with something like that. You know, so it'll be interesting as well to know.
You know what? You know, like I'm glad that. Listen, in my family, I'm glad it happened to me, my family, and nobody else, because I don't think like anybody could have gone through what I went through because I was doing like all day, every day. Do you know what I mean? And it turned me from up there, down there. And do you know me seeing rock bottom? I would never stick my nose up at anybody else who's like that, because I've lived it and I've breathed it and I know how it feels. It's not a nice place to be in. It's a dark road. Do you know what I mean? So people that's never been there can't comment. Do you know what I mean? I've been there. I've lived it, and it's an evil place. Do you know what I mean?
Well, hopefully you'll be able to share some stuff today, and if there's people who are battling their own demons, then you know, hopefully you'll be able to help them and inspire them to think, well, actually, do you know what? I need to make a change as well before something could happen. You know, which you've had happen to yourself, where you weren't in a position to, you know, to deal with it in the best way at the time.
Yeah, well, I had a bit of minor heart attack in 2016 from it as well. Do you know? Yeah, just not a major one, obviously, but that was when I first started doing it. You know, I had like a minor heart attack, and
how did it all start then, Jamie? What was it? Was it like was it a path with the drugs that sort of one led to another, or were you sort of?
You know what? It's like a few hours. Like, this is how it went. My granddad died, and he used to live with us. My mum used to care for him, my granddad. And it was weird as hell because I'm not blaming it on my granddad, because it probably would have happened anyway, because obviously he lived over the road. The guy, I'm not blaming him either. No one forced me to do it, but it was like a few hours would have led, a few hours a day, and then every other day, and then a few hours, and then a few days turned into like I just told you earlier, and it just spiraled completely out of control. And by the time I realised it, 4 years went by. But then my mate died. Well, Tommy, he died. Yeah, he died a couple of years ago. Now I was 4 years with him. That's 4 years just went like that. I couldn't believe it, man. Back time, and I'm like, I was sound before that. I was like loving gym, sound as fuck big. Do you know what I mean? And then I just went to no. Do you know what I mean? And then, God, I can't even like thinking it now. It's like, do you know what I mean? I'm still not perfect now. I still have my slips and I still have a drink and that now and again. Do you know what I mean? Still do whatever, but I'm nowhere near that person. I look at that picture, and I think, do you know what I mean? I wish somebody. Do you know, if I seen somebody like this, if I seen somebody who I knew going down that path like that, I'd say, listen, you know, because I had nobody to tell me apart from family. Do you know what I mean? And it's not a nice place to be, but I would never stick my nose up at anybody like who's dealing with, because it can happen to anyone. Do you know what I mean, James? It can happen to anyone. People who are well now could be telling them to stop it, but then in a couple of years' time they'd be in it. You know what I mean? It just happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you
definitely.
think, yeah, alcoholism. Do you know what I mean? You think that people think that they're all right because they have a bottle of wine and just one a night or 4 cans every night, but then every night it just escalates and then back to, you know what I mean? It's like happened to anyone.
But it's one
So
of the it's one of the most dangerous drugs as well, isn't it? Alcohol, you know.
yeah.
You know, it's
What I said about the tattoo, my good friend Kelvin, yeah, he's a tattoo artist. He's a tattoo artist. I can't get words out today. He's a tattoo artist in Doncaster, and he's doing my sister's portrait. I've paid for my sister's portrait of a daughter with my next purse, my fight purse, and I've already booked it for her. I've already paid deposit, and she's gonna have her ashes put in the ink, you know. So she's gonna have justice in the tattoo. Do you know what I mean? And she can't wait. Like, so she's got that next week to get off Kelv, and he's got a shop called Black Void. So and that's in
brilliant.
yeah. So he's doing that for me. Do you know what I mean? So she's looking forward to that. And then that's it, yeah. But it'd be nice that for her. Do you know what I mean? She's gonna have the ashes imprinted in her. Do you know what I mean? In the ink. That's something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
So
that's it, isn't it? I mean, that's something that you know, part of each other forever. No one takes that away there, man.
yeah.
So Jamie, then, so let's let's sort of cover it then to try and understand how it was for you at the time. So obviously you were in a really dark place.
Yeah.
You know, you were battling your addiction, and then what was it that happened in regards to your sister? She was pregnant at the time when.
Yeah, well, I'd already been on it for a couple of years before she was here, about 2 or 3 years before she was here. So it wasn't just like I started. Do you know what I mean? I was already bad, like, but I just didn't. It was like I just didn't. It's like I've got a horrible guilt feeling in my stomach. Do you know where, like, because it's my niece in it. Do you know, and she needed. I mean, my sister needed her brothers. You know what I mean? My other brother were there, but he like needed me. Do you know what I mean? And I wasn't there. So and anytime I probably was there, he would probably be trying to score some money off you. Do you know what I mean? It's just an horrible time in my life. You know, but it's like how she dealt with that. It's like it's uncanny. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't think I can't believe how strong my sister is. Do you know what I mean? Because she's had to. She's not had a good life either. Do you know what I mean? She has stuff done to her when she was a kid. Do you know what I mean? So, she fell in bath and got burnt her leg. Do you know what I mean? She's that book through her, but you know what? She still comes. She still lives and breathes. The kids have got best of everything, and I've just got a little guilt there because I should have been there for my niece. Do you know what I mean? And I want. Do you know what I mean? My brother carried her when she died. I didn't get to carry her because I was still bad. You know what I mean? And I didn't earn that right, kind of thing. But I've got a horrible, deep void feeling in my stomach. Do you know what I mean? And I'll have to live with that kind of thing.
It's like it's like you said, mate. Sadly, we can't turn back time, can we? Or
But I know they were looking down on me anyway. I know that. So,
but yeah, 100%. And obviously, I'm sure your sister, you know, can understand why you are with it all today and what you're doing.
yeah, she'll tell you, yeah, Kayla. She's you know what I mean? Because last time I said I was going to do this in 2019, I don't know what, I was just too poorly. I was still on it, do you know what I mean? But now I'm dedicated, do you know what I mean? I'm going to gym, I'm training, I'm turning up to fights, I'm good, I'm traveling, I'm doing things, you know what I mean? Everything, every donation is getting put in a pot for her. This is no way, this fighting journey is no way for me whatsoever. It's me to break. I've got to try and break through a barrier some way. I owe a lot to her, do you know what I mean? And it's for her. And as long as I get that CMV awareness out there, even on these fight journeys, because it will make awareness, you know what I mean? Because I'll make sure, and that's all it's for. It's not for me at all. Do you know what I mean? Everything's for justice, you know. It is. It's all for
respect to you for that. Respect to you for that, mate. And like you say as well, I mean, it's going to live with you. So I can't even imagine the pain that it causes you to, you know, to live with the past and that.
But like, it takes a lot. Like, I mean, everyone's like saying, "Oh, I'm proud of you" and all that. But it's like, do you know, for someone like me to come off it from being on it every day and then coming back and training and fighting. I mean, not many people could. I do understand that not many people would do that, but not many people can do that either. Do you know what I mean? And I'd help anybody that in the same situation as I would. Do you know what I mean? No one's pulled me out for me. I've pulled myself out. If I had nobody helping me, I've done it all myself and with my family. But if I seen somebody struggling like I did, I'd help them if they wanted it. That I wanted the help, but I had nobody to help me. Do you know what I mean?
I'm guessing it's one of them things that you need to want that help yourself before anyone can
do for you. Like one of my mates, Leon, he said over a week, you know, you might know Lee anyway. He even said he's hit the nail on the head. He went, as horrible as it sounds, your kids won't be enough for you to stop. It's got to, even though they did feel a big part of it, but you've got to want to do it for yourself. And I know it sounds horrible, like you if you can't do it for yourself, do you know what I mean? And he was right, I thought, because when my kids were born, I was still doing it, and I don't know why I was doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like, and even though I love my kids, I was still doing it. So I don't know why I didn't stop doing it. But now I've got another focus. Do you know what I mean? I should be. I'm doing it for my kids and justice. Do you know what I mean? But I should have been a better person for my kids. My kids want for nothing. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, it's like, you know, like being like when I was growing up, me and my brother have always been respectful, do you know what I mean? Or been respected, do you know what I mean? And I just threw all that away because I was just like hanging about with all like people that run everything and all that, do you know what I mean? Hanging about with people like that, do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Obviously, I'd never do it like that, but I was hanging about with people like that because when you're on it every day, you don't give a fuck who you hang about with, do you know what I mean? You just hang about with anyone, you doss with anyone, don't you? Do you know what I mean? And it's, oh, mate, I've seen both best of both worlds, and I'm glad anyway. Do you know what I mean? Because I know what's down there, and I know what's up there, and I know what I'd prefer to have, and it's not down there. Do you know what I mean? So I've learned from it anyway. I've learned a lot from it. Do you know?
And the people that matter are your family, mate, and they're the ones, they're the ones who are going to be there through thick and thin for you. With these other people.
My brother's like part is like the other part of me, and he goes mad when I like say if he knew while I'm training for fights and all that, say if he knew I was going out on it for a drink, he'd go mad. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Go mad. Even though I won't, but that's what sort of person he would. That's what he'd do. Do you know what I mean? He'd go sick. Do you know what I mean? Because if I show that I'm slipping, well, I'm taking these fights on, then I'm not taking the fight serious. So I've got to maintain my. I've got to stay composed. You know what I mean? Calm and collective, and just take each day as it comes. You know what I mean? So
you've got to look after your body as well, don't you? Because I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's it. 100%.
You're putting your body on the line every time you step into a fight. So
It'll be bare knuckles and all that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they do say bare knuckles safer than gloves because it's a padding in the gloves that because you don't feel it that much and you're getting that many bangs to head. Bare knuckle, you're straight in and out, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? So they do say,
yeah. Fights are a lot quicker. Yeah, fights are a lot quicker, aren't they?
They're not taking as much amateur head, so they do say bare knuckles a lot safer. It's mad though, but a lot of people won't agree with it. But it's right because I could smack you 50 times in head, but then I might only have to smack you once with my bare knuckle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. And it's that thing in there. I think a lot of a lot of boxers that taken into the fights and the sparring, they almost get that punch drunk, don't they? Where they take that many hits, you know.
God, it's horrible when you get hit inside the head with gloves on, mate. Oh, God, it rattles your noggin, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? But if you got hit inside the head with your knuckles, it probably won't even phase you, you know what I mean? You're either out or you carry on, but when you get hit with gloves, mate, when I've done some sparring with gloves, mate, oh, it just rattles your equilibrium, do you know what I mean? It's like that. So I do believe that the gloves do hurt a lot more than bare knuckle, I'm telling you, in the long run anyway.
It's funny because all the bare knuckle lads will have that view, and then the boxing lads won't want to take the gloves off to have a bare knuckle.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Yeah, it's mad, mate, but yeah. But do you know what? I've met some brilliant lads on this Eve. I've only had one fight up to now. It wasn't even a fight. That's why I'm giving my opponent the rematch. But I'm hoping this guy, because he looks like a big fella, do you know what I mean? And I'm hoping I get a good scrap in 3 weeks, because that's all I'm mate. It's not about walking in. It's not about doing it. I just want a good scrap because I want to just let it out. Do you know what I mean? I just want a good scrap. So we'll see, won't we? But 3 week, I'm in Bradford, so on 23rd. So can't wait for that one.
Yeah, happy days, mate. So just to take it back a bit then, Jamie. So when you were obviously really struggling and you got to that point in your head of something has to change, whereabouts were you at that point medically? Had they said anything to you medically, like you've got to stop drinking, or your liver?
No, it has been that bad for me in part, like from starting, man. I have been in hospital with for a few times. And I've always like said I'm going to sort myself out, and I did. And then my family that stopped me from doing it. Stopped me, honestly, because they don't agree with me. See, do you know all these people that go out taking drugs and all that, and they buzz off it, they love it, they steal for it. You couldn't see me going to steal for it. If I ain't got it, I ain't got it. If I, you know what I mean, I would never go in Asda and steal whatever, or I'd never go in like rob somebody's bike for it. Do you know what I mean? I've never been that bad, but I have it's like, do you know it doesn't? But when I'm on it doesn't agree with me. It turns me to a person I'm not. Do you know what I mean? So it's easy for me to walk away from it. It is. I have some slips now and again. Like we all do, you know what I mean? I have a few pints and I get on one, do you know what I mean? But that's very rarely. But do you know, it's very, very easy for me not to go down that road because it doesn't agree with me, mate.
And what's your yeah, sorry, mate. What's your strength then? Where do you grow that? So obviously you've got your niece, which is a massive inner strength for you. You've said you've got your family, so you've got your own kids as well.
I've got kids. I've got 2 babies, 2 boys. Yeah, and they're an handful as already. I can already see what they're going to be like, mate. Yeah, but
how old are your boys?
I've got Romeo, who's 1.5. He's 2 in December, and I've got another one born in December. He's 7 in December.
Oh, brilliant! Brilliant. My boy's 6, so he's 7 January. But
is he?
Yeah, but yeah, he's a good lad, to be fair. But so obviously that's going to mean a lot to you as well. And
you know what? Another thing, I know, James, my river is getting to an age now where he's understanding, and I don't want him to know that. I don't want him to look at his dad and think, "Look at your stage," because a lot of people around here, they see the mums and the dads and the fuck. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it for it. I'm not saying it about anybody, but where the village I'm from, it's not a good village. You know what I mean? Everybody knows each other's business. You know what I mean? Everyone does the same thing. Probably the same in any village. But I don't want my kids, when he's 14, 15, to say, your dad's this and your dad's that, mate. So I've got a time to change, so I'm changing it. Do you know what I mean? I've had that little, like, that fucking, do you know that? I've had my time fucking my life up and I'm done with it. Do you know what I mean?
If you keep going from strength to strength now, mate, and raising awareness and doing what you're doing for justice, then you're gonna, that's what your kids are gonna be proud of with the dad, you know. So I think it's all about tomorrow. You're gonna have your wobbles and you're gonna find times that things don't go 100%. Not everything in life does it? So it's about how you can best deal with that. And if you've got good people around you, mate, with your family, then that's half the battle, I think.
Well, how we're gonna get this like saying? Have you heard of that saying? We're all in the same hell, just different levels, dealing with the same hell, just different devils. And I'm gonna get that on me, I think, and just read that all the time, you know, because we're all in the same hell, aren't we? And it is different devils, and that's what it is. And a lot of people, sadly, don't get a second chance from it, do they? And I've got a chance where I'm fit enough and well enough to leave it behind, you know, and that's it for me. Do you know what I mean? Never say I'm not going to slip, because we're not perfect, are we? But I am in a good place mentally at the minute. So
one day at a time, mate. One day at a time. You know,
100%, yeah.
One day at a time. So, what's your? Oh yeah, sorry. The other thing that I wanted to ask as well. What was it when you were getting into the gym and you were getting into the fighting? What was it that made you want to go down the route of bare knuckle over gloved?
See, it's always been in my head when I first we're gonna do it in 2019, and I just wasn't fit enough. I was bad then, mate. You know, like on them pictures. But I always had the fighting mentality that I thought I could do it, but I thought I could do it because your brain and your head never changes, just your body. Do you know what I mean? But I was wrong for me. I've always wanted to do it for my niece from 2019, and then I've always thought about it, and then I thought I'll leave it, and then it's just come at a good time, I think, just to get myself to fight. And I mean, fighting just relieves a lot of stress and gives you something to train for, doesn't it?
How long did it take you, Jamie? Obviously, from the photos, which the guys will have seen as well, the viewers will have seen now. How long did it take you to?
I mean, I like, this is the first time. Well, I've never been on it like completely every day, like, but I was for the first 4 years, and then Tommy died, my mate died, and then I started to like stop and then start and then do not have times off and then slip again, and then from 2022 to 2021 to 2022, I started something out. And then this is the first time this year, like all this year, I've not done fuck all. Do you know what I mean? I've like for obviously like a year and a half. Do you know what I mean? But I have like slipped. Do you know what I mean? I've done like little benders, like we all do. Do you know what I mean? I have slipped, and we all do, but I haven't done it every day like I did for a long time. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard to pinpoint like how long I've been on it and all, but I just know now that I'm just keeping it steady. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But for the last 6 months, I've just been training it.
Yeah, I was going to say you'll know what works for you as well, mate. And if you've you know, if you found yourself in a decent training pattern now and fitting in with the fights as well, I'm sure you'll go from strength to strength. Is there any gym you're working with at the minute, Jamie?
No, I'm not working with no gyms at the minute. I do go to a couple of gyms, like boxing gyms, but I'm not like I've got a couple of lads who I spar with, and then I just do like I've got a guy who I do pad working with, and I'm just like, it's just more cardio that I've been doing, like on running machines and just learning pad work. But like I say, it all goes out window on the day when you're in there. Do you know what I mean? It's like you've got to keep your cardio and your fitness up on you. Do you know what I mean?
But I know, yeah, massive.
I haven't gone forward. I haven't yet. Do you know what I mean? But I know that there's guys there. Do you know what I mean? I've been offered off a few lads. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, after this fight, I'm gonna see how it goes. I'm doing a bit of cardio, and then I'm gonna see how it goes after this fight, and then obviously train. I'll just keep training for my rematch, and then I might just see looking for a couple, like, you know, like a boxing coach or something, you know, to see how. But there's lads down there, not England, and that can go down there and do some with them, like, do you know what I mean? I know a lot of lads who knows what skills and that. Do you know what I mean? I just need to work on my footwork and all that, you know.
Yeah,
just getting. It's just little things like that, but like what I lack in like technique, I make up in power anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's your fighting weight, Jamie?
I'm sitting at 13 stone at minute. My normal weight, like I was 13, 11. before my first fight of a week, but I lost £10 for my opponent to make it more fair. Do you know what I mean? I didn't, you know what I mean? It was only 12 and a half. So I lost £10 just for him. So I think I'm just sitting over like just over 13 and a bit now. Like it's like I'm not on this fight in full 3 weeks is light heavy. So I need to be like 13 and a half. But by the time 3 weeks, I'll put it all back on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's cool, mate. Well, there's definitely, like you said, there's a lot of platforms now as well in the area and up this neck of the woods. There's some really good platforms, to be fair. So there's definitely
Yeah. There's quite a few. I've got a lot of offers on for quite a few. Do you know what I mean? I've had loads of offers. I'm gonna stay with Olympus because it's on doorstep. Do you know what I mean? And then there's that bare knuckle wars. I'll stick with them, and I'll jump on a few, me like. You know, I've been offered to go on a different one in October, like, but I'm away on 10th, so can't go. That's just in between 10th, so I can't do that one. So, but I'm game for doing a few of them as long as the timing's right. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to
yeah.
be doing one, then jumping off one, then jumping on another one because I don't want to work like I don't want to be like saying, yeah, I'll do that, yeah, I'll do this, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I'll do that. And, do you know what I mean? I'm just gonna like compose myself and I'll never book more than two at a time. Do you know what I mean? I'll do this one, get rid of this one, and then I'll do my rematch, and then I'll book another one. Do you know what I mean? With someone else. So see what happens after these
I
two.
think
But
I think I think that's great as well, mate. I was going to say, I don't know too much about with Olympus, but I'll definitely be getting down to one of their events soon.
Yeah. Be good to
As
see
well,
you. Yeah.
because you know it's close by. But I think that's great. I think if you're fighting on a platform that you know you're on good relationships with the guys, and it's good for you when you know what it's about, and
Yeah.
it feels right for you, then why change something if it's not broken,
Yeah,
you
and
know?
it's just I'm not Olympus. It's bang on and all. A good set of lads, and it's just like the crowd that comes to them is just unreal, mate. And do you know if it were like, and it were raining that day when I was there and all, and it started to be sunny when I started fighting. If it were red all day, I do believe there'd been a lot more there. Do you know what I mean? The weather were like it is today, but the next one they have, it's going to be inside. So
Okay.
I do believe that a lot more people will go because I think they're going to have a bar and that. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
honestly, you'd enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? It's outside. I mean, it's just a proper good setup that they've got. And because Rotherham's a big place, they all just come out of everywhere. Do you know what I mean? The crowds, about 200-300. Do you know what I mean? Just come to watch fight. Mad as fuck. I mean,
Everyone, yeah, I think
they were like, never, it's massive, mate. There are loads of people. Apparently, there were more people at the show before. Do you know what I mean? Because they usually do them every 4 weeks, but they did one, and then they did one on 2 week after because no, whatever. But if they had left it, they'd have probably had it like this week. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Not, but they bung it forward. But there were still loads there anyway. So it didn't matter. Do you know what I mean?
Is the atmosphere cracking then? Yeah, really good.
Mate, honestly, I got there. I was buzzing, mate. My sister and all that was saying, aren't you scared? Nah, it's only a scrap. Mate, yeah, you win or you lose, don't you? I've lost loads of fights on the street. Do you know what I mean? It don't matter. Do you know what I mean? I'm just I'm concentrating on one person, and she was up there. Do you know what I mean? And when I get in there, I didn't feel it until I got in there, and I was raring for it. Do you know what I mean? And then it was done after like 20 seconds, like, because he hit his back. So I can't wait for the rematch with him because it's going to be spicy. Do you know what I mean?
Was it quite a close thing then with him, or
Nah, I mean, we're like what he did. We both got into it and that, and then clipped him on the jaw, and then when he sat down, he hit his back, and he said he couldn't get back up. So it's like a TKO in it, but I've given him the rematch for that reason.
yeah, yeah, fair play.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give him a rematch, let him because his game. Do you know what I mean? He's been to four now. That's his fourth. That's his fourth Olympus show. So the next one will be his fifth. Do you know what I mean? So I'm giving him rematch.
Oh well, respect to you for that, mate, because you never know when
A
an
lot of people
opportunity
would just
like
like turn on to the next one, wouldn't they? Do you know what I mean?
yeah, and you might find as well, you know, you do that, and then you might find that someone else at some point in the future will, you know,
Yeah,
offer the same olive branch as well for yourself. So it's always good to to do it, and I think it says a lot about you as well, given the circumstances, to let him have another crack. But
Yeah, give him a chance, innit?
you've got lots happening then, mate. There's obviously a lot more to come from you, like you say as well. 32, so there's plenty of years left in the tank.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. I'm just gonna keep myself calm, collective, keep training, and just like get on with all lads. Like I say, I've met loads of good lads, and they all know who they are. About 20, 30 good lads I've met in this past 6 months that I've been like talking with them. Do you know what I mean? And they are brilliant lads, mate. Lads who, if I just rang them up, they'd be straight here. Do you know what I mean? If I needed them, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they are some good lads, great lads that I've met, and probably some like treat me better than probably people that I've known all my life. Do you know what I mean? Mate wise, you know what I mean? They've got loads of respect, because anybody that jumps in there in front of a crowd, you've got to, it's respecting it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I jumped in there, and that's it. And I'm gonna keep jumping in there, whether I get beat, whether I don't. I'm not bothered. I'm just gonna jump in there, and crack on with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's a real sort of brotherhood and camaraderie, and it's, you know, you have your fight, but come the end of the fight, you know, no one wants anyone to get badly hurt, and it's shake hands afterwards, and
yeah. That's
you
it,
know,
mate. It's always and you're going in there to get paid, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? And you're going in there for a bit of experience. And a lot of people who I've met on this little journey that I've been on, it's like they're all fighting for a reason. So whether it's mental health issues, whether it's money for food or money for lives, because some of them, like I know I've met a few lads that have been like kicked out and that. Do you know what I mean? And they just fight to survive. Do you know what I mean? It's like matters. Everyone's got their own reason why they're fighting. I know I've got mine. You know what I mean? And I wear that T-shirt to remind people why I'm fighting, because I've got my justice is the picture on my picture. My T-shirt, do you know what I mean? So, and like the trophy that I got from the win of the week, it's next to my sister's. It's next to my niece's ashes on like a little like memory plaque what she's got in her house. You know what I mean? It's sat there, and I'm promising her that she's gonna have one on that side and all.
Yeah, that's nice, mate, and I'm sure I've got no doubt that you'll make it happen whatsoever, pal. No doubt at all.
I said to my opponent, dig deep. We have to dig deep, mate, to get me out of there, because I'd rather go out of my shield, mate. Mate, I'll go out of my shield. You know what I mean? I won't be like saying, no, I don't want no more, mate. I'll go out of my shield. If I'm fucked, mate, I'll get back up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean?
The good thing, Jamie, as well, is you've got something there, which is something that you can draw upon as well, and that's the strength there that you've got ahead of anyone who you set to with. So,
like a lot of people that. Yeah, a lot of people that know me, I can imagine what they're all saying. Oh, he's not going to do this, he's not going to do that, mate. Oh, he's just a poster boy. Oh, he just wants, you know what I mean, mate? I was straight in there. I was one of the first ones at that event. I was first one there, never one of the first ones there. Do you know what I mean? I was straight in.
That's something nice in itself, and that's something that you can take in yourself, Jamie. So everyone's all quick to jump on to put someone down and to, you know, this, that, and the rest of it. But actually, when you do what's important to you and what you're fighting for, then it's a big two fingers up at everyone that doubts.
Exactly.
You know?
People don't understand why I'm doing it. Do you know what I mean? And if they think that I'm not going to turn up to these fights, they've got another thing coming, mate. Only the people that I know, like around here, mate, because a lot of people know me. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, but I can imagine what they're saying, man. Because this village talk shit. Do you know what I mean? Oh, he's not going to do this. He won't do that. Do you know what I mean? But they're wrong, because I'm doing it for one person and she's watching. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. So
that's it, mate. And you've got your path that you're on now, and just keep following your path, and everything will happen, mate. And it's all about today and tomorrow. You know, it's not about yesterday. So.
You know, you put the work in, like you and your podcasting, taking your time out to podcast people. See, you're building, you're doing it for your reasons. Do you know what I mean? and we're all like every time we're fighting for someone's promotion, we're earning, but we're helping them. Everyone's helping each other. Do you know what I mean?
That's
Do you
it,
know what I mean?
mate. Yeah,
So
that's
just
it.
like, I mean, I think look at it as a community. Do you know what I mean?
100%, 100%, and yeah, and I think as well. I think it is pretty good, to be fair. I think between a lot of the platforms and stuff now, and a lot of people are sort of helping each other. And you know, if one event has a fighter pull out, they can pull from another
Well, that's
event.
what
You
I
know,
mean. That Olympus did, wasn't they? Because bare knuckle wars won everywhere, and the Olympus have asked somebody. Do you know what I mean? And tagged him. No, that everyone's friends. Do you know what I mean? Getting their lads
that's
to try
it.
and fight.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And give people an opportunity to earn a bit of wage as well. Do you know what I mean? So everyone's helping each other in that fact. Do you know what I mean? So it's
and
good
I
to
think
see.
it's you know, there's enough for everyone to do well, and you know, it's the biggest rising sport in the country. So you
Yeah.
know, there's plenty for everyone to have their events, and like you say as well, it's always good if you don't burn bridges, and then you can, you know, you can help people out with fighters, and you know,
Yeah.
because injuries always happen, things come up, and so it does make sense for everyone to sort of help out and get along, like. But
I think most of the lads that I've met a few lads like who would just take it as a laugh. Do you know what I mean? And talking to their opponents and all that. I'm not into that staring business. No, your opponent and all that. Don't bother me. Don't wash me. Do you know what I mean? But some of them do, and
yeah,
they get into the realm of it. Do you know what I mean? Like they get into just this. But on fight day, they're like that, man. I'm like, mate, you're burning all your energy, mate, aren't you? How much
yeah,
energy does it take for it to stare somebody out for like that all day? By the time it comes to fight day, you're gonna be fucking no, you know what I mean? And I said that to
yeah,
one of I said that to one of the lads after I went, mate, you're doing all this and doing that, mate. Don't wash. Do you know what I mean? You're getting paid same, never if you win or lose, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's not personal, is it? Do you know what I mean? And I do believe that they use a lot of energy doing that, but most of the lads
yeah.
as well are sound as fuck, and they like sound opponents talking to each other, yeah. Sound us out and then battering fuck out of each other, and then talking to each other again. It's mad as hell. I love it, mate.
No,
You know what I
it's
mean?
quality. Well, Jamie, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure
Yeah,
chatting to you, pal.
yeah.
And
You as well, pal.
yeah, no, definitely. Well, we won't make it. You know, we'll keep in touch, and we won't make it the last.
Yeah,
Let us know how you're getting on,
yeah. We'll do, pal. 100%, mate.
and we'll catch up again a bit down the road and see how you get on, pal. And so when's your next fight,
Yeah.
Jamie?
23rd. So 3 week.
And if people want to get tickets, can they get in touch with you?
Contact me through my Facebook, yeah, or they can contact Rock Solid Promotions or Bare Knuckle Wars. But they're all tagged on my Facebook anyway, so if anybody wants it out for them, but they're going to be 30 fights. So there's 60 lads fighting. There's going to be 30 fights, all different K1, gloves, 4-ounce gloves, boxing, wrestling. There's all 30 lads that are a mixture of fighting that night. So it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good solid
It'll be a
night of fighting.
cracking event then. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be good to see if you want to go there, mate. James, it'd be good to you know what I mean? Probably be able to get you a ticket live. Fancied it.
Yeah, what I'll do, mate, is I'll let you know because I've got BKB on the 16th.
Yeah.
There's a Fight Fest for this coming up, and then there's one at the end of the month as well. Jack Gibbons. He was gonna.
Yeah.
I did the interview with Jack. Not too long back, he was going to be fighting Gary Slater for the heavyweight title at YouTube Wars too. But
Ben Waddington now, innit? Gary Slater, something.
yeah, well, Gary Slater's fighting Ben on Saturday, but he was set to fight Jack Gibbons on the 21st of October. But just today, Jack's just announced today that he's got an opportunity to go train with Peter Fury in November. So
has he?
Yeah,
Sound.
so he's going to be carrying on doing that. So he was going to take the gloves off and have his face bare knuckle with Gary Slater, but instead
Yeah,
that's
good for him,
shelved
mate. I
for
hope it
now
works out for
anyway.
him,
So,
pal. I hope it
but
works out for him, mate.
yeah, I mean these things happen, don't they? It's like I said to him, you know, things happen for a reason, and but you know, it's another thing of just people following the dreams, really. But no, he's a top guy as well. So you know, I wish Jack all the best. And but we'll definitely be back in touch, Jay,
Yeah, I
mate.
do. I wish him all the best, mate.
Yeah.